7 current NFL owners have been named in the Jeffrey Epstein files, and the league's response reveals a troubling double standard that exposes everything wrong with how the NFL protects its most powerful members. When the Department of Justice released over 3 million pages of Epstein documents during Super Bowl week in January 2026, the timing couldn't have been more deliberate or devastating. As America's most watched sporting event approached, the NFL found itself grappling with connections between some of its most prominent owners and the convicted sex trafficker who died in federal custody in 2019. The scope of these revelations is staggering. Among the 6 million pages of documents, 180,000 images, and 2,000 videos that detail Jeffrey Epstein's criminal activities, the names of NFL owners appear hundreds of times. Steve Tisch, co-owner of the New York Giants, is mentioned more than 400 times alone. But the real scandal isn't just what these documents contain, it's how the NFL is responding to them. The path to the current document release began with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, signed by President Donald Trump on the 19th of November 2025. This law mandated the release of nearly all materials collected during 2 decades of investigations involving Epstein. When the DOJ missed its initial December 19 deadline, pressure mounted. Finally, during Super Bowl week 2026, the floodgates opened. Now let's examine exactly what these documents reveal about NFL owners and their connections to Epstein. The evidence ranges from seemingly innocent business communications to deeply troubling personal exchanges that raise serious questions about what these powerful men knew and when they knew it. Steve Tisch emerges as the most problematic case. The Giants' co-owner and Hollywood producer exchanged numerous emails with Epstein in 2013, many focusing on introductions to women. In one particularly damaging exchange, Tisch asked Epstein about a specific woman. When Epstein described her as exotic and noted she spoke mostly French, Tisch responded by asking, "Working girl?" Epstein replied, "Never." Even more concerning is another exchange where Tisch asked, "Is my present in NYC?" When Epstein confirmed yes, Tisch followed up the next morning asking, "Can I get my surprise to take me to lunch tomorrow?" The language suggests a level of intimacy and arrangement that goes far beyond casual acquaintanceship. These aren't business emails between distant associates. They're personal communications between men discussing women as if they were commodities. French media reports have potentially connected these exchanges to a woman who recently told her story to Radio France 1. She described how Epstein introduced her to an American producer in 2013. Public records show that in 2013, Tisch was renting a $60,000 per month, 13-room penthouse in Trump Park Avenue. The timeline and details are uncomfortably aligned. Josh Harris, owner of the Washington Commanders, Philadelphia 76ers, and New Jersey Devils, presents a different but equally concerning pattern. Documents show Harris attended an intimate breakfast at Epstein's Manhattan home in December 2014, where Bill Gates was also present. The invitation specifically noted the breakfast would be intimate, less than 6 people. When Epstein followed up asking, "Did you have fun at breakfast?" Harris replied, "Yes, very much. Thank you for inviting me." While Harris's representatives claim he sought to avoid meeting with Epstein, the evidence suggests otherwise. You don't thank someone for an experience you were trying to avoid. Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots, appears in documents related to his own legal troubles. In 2019, while facing prostitution charges in Florida, Kraft was recommended to hire Jeffrey Epstein's former lawyer, Roy Goldberger. Epstein personally told Goldberger, "Yes, I am trying to have him hire you." Goldberger eventually joined Kraft's defense team. The same attorney who helped Epstein secure his lenient 2008 plea deal was now defending an NFL owner on prostitution charges, with Epstein facilitating the connection. Woody Johnson, owner of the New York Jets and former ambassador to the United Kingdom, exchanged messages with Epstein in October 2016. Johnson asked Epstein, "How plausible is the idea that Trump is real cocaine user?" Epstein replied 0 before inviting Johnson to dinner with Rothschild in New York. These communications reveal not just contact, but the kind of casual intimacy that suggests ongoing relationship. David Tepper, current owner of the Carolina Panthers, appears in a 2014 email where Epstein asked Bill Gates about people he'd like to know, listing Tepper alongside Josh Harris and Robert Kraft. While less detailed than other connections, the grouping suggests Epstein viewed these NFL owners as part of his broader network of influence. The most disturbing case involves Dan Snyder, the former Washington Commanders owner who sold the team in 2023 amid his own scandals. Documents include what appears to be a victim's diary entry that reads, "Jeffrey treats me like I'm special property, and when I need Ghislaine, she is working. Joe Gibbs is so nice, but Dan Snyder is a pig." This entry directly places Snyder in proximity to Epstein's operation and suggests he was known to at least one victim. Additional documents reference Snyder in various contexts, including a 2020 email about a TMZ inquiry regarding rumors of his potential arrest in connection with the Epstein-Maxwell investigation. While no such arrest occurred, the fact that such rumors were circulating and being investigated by media demonstrates the scope of concern surrounding NFL connections to Epstein. Now comes the crucial question: how has the NFL responded to these revelations? Commissioner Roger Goodell's statement at the Super Bowl press conference was telling in its careful language, "Absolutely, we will look at all the facts. We'll look at the context of those and try to understand that." Notice what Goodell didn't say. He didn't express outrage, he didn't announce immediate investigations, and he didn't reference the league's personal conduct policy, which explicitly states that ownership and management have traditionally been held to a higher standard and will be subject to more significant discipline when violations occur. Instead, the league has offered the most tepid possible response. They'll look into the matter to understand the facts. This from an organization that suspended Tom Brady 4 games for allegedly deflating footballs and imposed harsh penalties on teams for relatively minor infractions. The contrast becomes even starker when you consider how the NFL typically responds to player misconduct. A player arrested for domestic violence faces immediate suspension pending investigation. A player caught gambling faces potential lifetime bans. But NFL owners connected to a convicted sex trafficker, they get the benefit of every possible doubt, while the league promises to understand the facts. Sports media analyst Craig Carton highlighted this hypocrisy perfectly. The Steve Tisch emails with Jeffrey Epstein are not problematic to the NFL Shield, but a player on the Jets saying Woody Johnson failed us when he came to ABCD is a problem for the Shield. Pedophilia, sex trafficking, Epstein, not a problem for the Shield. Saying I want better food or better bench press machine is a problem for the Shield. This double standard reveals everything wrong with how the NFL operates. The league that claims to stand for integrity and character consistently protects its most powerful members while holding players to impossibly high standards. When billion-dollar owners face serious allegations, the response is measured and cautious. When players face far lesser charges, the response is swift and punitive. The owners themselves have offered carefully crafted statements through their attorneys. Tisch admitted to a brief association where we exchanged emails about adult women, but insisted he did not take him up on any of his invitations and never went to his island. Harris's representatives claimed he sought to avoid meeting with Epstein despite evidence of multiple communications and at least one documented meeting. These statements follow a predictable pattern: acknowledge minimal contact, deny wrongdoing, express regret about associating with Epstein, and hope the story fades away. It's the same playbook used by politicians, businessmen, and celebrities who found themselves in Epstein's orbit. But the story isn't fading away. Congressional scrutiny is intensifying. During a House Judiciary Committee hearing in February 2026, Rep. Zoe Lofgren asked Attorney General Pam Bondi directly, do these emails constitute credible evidence, not proof, but credible evidence warranting further investigation into whether Steve Tisch was involved in Epstein's criminal conduct? The question hangs in the air, unanswered and deeply unsettling. While appearing in Epstein's documents doesn't establish criminal wrongdoing, the pattern of connections raises legitimate questions about what these powerful men knew about Epstein's activities and whether any of them participated in or facilitated his crimes. ESPN's coverage of this story has been notably sparse, consisting mainly of reprinted Associated Press articles with no original investigative journalism or televised commentary. This silence from the sports media giant that covers every minor NFL controversy extensively is itself a story. When the network that will dissect a quarterback's press conference for days barely acknowledges allegations connecting multiple NFL owners to a convicted sex trafficker, you have to wonder what interests are being protected. Fan reaction has been swift and unforgiving. Within hours of the Harris revelations, hashtags like #JoshHarrisOut and #FireHarris were trending among Commanders fans, who had hoped their new ownership would represent a fresh start after years of dysfunction under Dan Snyder. The overwhelming sentiment is that any connection to Epstein is unacceptable for an NFL owner, regardless of the specific nature of that connection. As this story continues to develop, new revelations emerge regularly from the massive trove of documents still being analyzed. Nearly 100,000 pages remain unreleased, along with 40 computers, 70 CDs, 26 storage drives, and 6 recording devices containing 300 gigabytes of additional data. Each new release has the potential to reveal more connections, more communications, and more uncomfortable questions about what America's most powerful sports league knew and when it knew it. The NFL has always marketed itself as more than just entertainment. It's presented as a reflection of American values, a showcase for character and integrity, a place where hard work and talent triumph. But the Epstein connections reveal a different reality. A league where billionaire owners operate by different rules than everyone else, where power insulates against accountability, and where protecting the shield means protecting those who own pieces of it. The Jeffrey Epstein files have given us a window into how power really operates in America's most popular sport. What we've seen through that window should concern anyone who believes that wealth and influence shouldn't place people above the law or beyond accountability. The NFL has an Epstein problem, and so far, their solution seems to be hoping everyone stops looking.